Welcome, everybody, to the Entrepreneur Dojo. This is Dave Espino and James Renuff, and we are here to share with you today some mindset topic that we're going to cover in the dojo that have helped us to generate millions of dollars online. Both James and I are in that category where we've made millions online, and we're now able to share with you the three primary strategies. Now, these three strategies, they work okay one by one, but when you combine them together, they're really powerful. And so I want to start with James and just see, what was funny is we were talking about this episode and we're thinking, hey, let's talk about the three success strategies that made us millions, right? And so as we're going back and forth on a text, I'm like, that's exactly the strategy I would have chosen. And I'm like, that's exactly the strategy I would have chosen. And so as it turns out, success is universal. There really are some cut and dried strategies that work and some habits that work really well. So tell us a little bit about your experience, James, and how you've used, first of all, what the strategies are and, what you think about those and how they work together.
Well, first of all, I want to say I came up with my topics first, and then Dave just said, oh, yeah, those are what I came up with also. So no, just joking. But, there's a lot of things, but I honestly believe that these three things that I'm going to say, and yours are very similar to mine. But what I had was perseverance. So my definition of perseverance is continuing on and just continuing on. So accepting that you're going to have failures. I think a lot of people stop because they hit some kind of roadblock and then they're done. Or if you've ever seen this meme or this picture, and there's this guy that he's got this like shovel and he's digging for gold or panning for gold, and he like keeps going, and then he's turning back, and there's another guy that's going and he's just about to get it. I expect failure, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I expect that there's going to be obstacles. And when you pass those obstacles, that's when you're going to reach your goal. So expect it. Expect, especially if you're online, that not everyone's going to be with you. So, you love your family, you love your friends, but they could be the ones saying, why are you doing that? Why are you working on something 3 or 4 hours a night when you have a job? Like, you're not making any money yet. You've just gotta keep going. And that might go without saying, but that's a big one for me. The next one is focus. We may have all heard of the story of, I think they asked Bill Gates and
Warren Buffett
to basically write one word down, keys to success, and it was focus. And I absolutely believe that. So one thing that I have to watch and that I struggle with is that, just because I'm sitting in front of my computer doesn't mean that I am focused, right? So I've had many times, it's just like when you read a book. Sometimes you can read a book and then it's like you get past 2 or 3 pages and after a while, and you're like, what did I just read? Or you're driving and all of a sudden you kind of just get there and it's like, whoa, I was like on autopilot. I wasn't focused. Well, sometimes I'm like on my computer, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I was on there, but I was clicking around. I was clicking on Facebook and I was doing this and I didn't actually get any work done. So if you can really get an hour or 2 of just real focus, put that cell phone down, that's worth more than 4 hours of, you're constantly being distracted and you don't even realize it. The next thing was consistency for me. So showing up and this is different than perseverance. It's more of, everyone's hot out the gate. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm going to crush it and I'm going to do this and this. And what happens after a week? What happens after 2 weeks? Are you still there? Are you still grinding? And I hate the word grind. I don't mean it like that, but
right.
Are you still going? Are you seeing your goals? Are you writing your goals down and going after them and picking away at them, taking daily focused, consistent action and persevering through your struggles? If you can do that, you don't have to be perfect out the gate, but if you can do that, you are hard to stop. And so when I get in that mode, and again, I'm not always perfect with this, but when I get in that mode where I'm ready and I'm focused and let's go, it's like, man, magic starts to happen. How is this happening? It's because I'm following those principles. So that's what I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, it's awesome. The 3 habits, those same exact 3 habits are what helped me to achieve my success, achieve my first millions. And I have a story to tell around this, if you don't mind, James.
Sure.
The story is that I got so excited about internet marketing. We're talking about back in 1998, okay? Got so excited about the the promise of the internet. It started with a course by Corey Rudel. I mentioned him in one of the other episodes. And Corey was like one of the first internet marketing pioneers. He taught a lot of today's gurus how to market on the internet. He really led the charge. And so I dug into this content and I was just like, man, this is possible. I can do it. If this guy can do it, I can do it, right? I also, from previous experience in business, understood the power of focus, how important it is, how not just important, how critical it is to focus, right? And so I'm sitting here, I'm going, okay, I've learned something. I've learned I can do anything in 90 days, or I can do anything for 90 days, right? So I set about to give myself 4 90-day sprints a year. I decided I'm going to give myself a year to turn my ebook into a full-time income. Now, at the time, I was making $12 to $15,000 a month selling my little toy cars on eBay, right? And I wrote this ebook called Beyond eBay. And my goal was in a year to have that be a full-time income. So I did 2 things that I think are really important. First, I set aside 90 days to start, and then I was going to take a break and then do another 90 days, take a break, do another 90 days. But what I did, I think next was really important. And that was I journaled every week. Every week I kept a journal of what I did that week, that previous week. And then to make it even more, apply more positive pressure on myself, I sold access to my weekly journal entries to people who bought my ebook.
I like that.
I'm like, hey, you're going to get to see the ins and outs, the ups and downs. You're going to get to see the truth about what it takes to build a business. And I was just being very, very candid, very honest. And so people would pay me. I forget the amount. I think it was like $15 a month or something. And every week I would send them, every week on a Saturday, I would write my journal and keep track of everything I'd done. And I would mail it out to them. And so there were weeks when I didn't get anything done, or it was a really bad week. And I just wrote that. And it was difficult, right? Because I knew people were counting on me, maybe cheering me on, in my mind, to be successful, to do something good, to do something exciting. And so it wasn't just me being accountable to me, it was me being accountable to these subscribers, right? So I think it's genius and I don't know if I thought about this at the time, but when you can apply positive pressure to yourself by being accountable to somebody other than yourself, that's really, really big. So I did that, and I went hard. I hustled. I worked hard. I did everything I could possibly do to promote that ebook and the upsells and all that. A year into it, the ebook was making about $3,000 a month in passive income. Yeah, my eBay business was doing much better than that, but I loved the passive income more than I liked, selling on eBay, packing and shipping, all this stuff. It was such a pain. A year into that, like literally 1 year after I started, I got the invitation from an infomercial company to be on an infomercial. And that was the beginning of my millions that I made from that point on. That would not have happened if I had not focused for 4 90-day sprints, if I had not been persistent, and if I had not continued with consistency to keep doing everything I was doing and follow that game plan. And now I'm not saying that everybody's guaranteed this. If you stay focused for 90 days and then another 90 days for a year, I'm not saying that's a formula for millions. I'm just saying that's what worked for me. That's what happened to me, and it's a great illustration to see these principles in action. Focus plus persistence, right? So I think of this like from the skateboarding standpoint. Again, I'm a skateboarder. And if you ever watch any skateboarding videos, you see people like trying and falling, trying and falling. But you also notice, if you watch carefully, a lot of these, they'll show the evolution of that person getting it a little bit more, getting it a little bit better, and then finally landing the trick. And the satisfaction that they have from actually having done it. But just think about that. That person doing that on the skateboard is showing focus. and they're learning as they go. They're having a lot of failures, don't get me wrong, but the failures are not stopping them. The failures are actually informing them of what they can do better, different, how they can improve next time. Then they're being persistent because, man, they're busting their butt, literally, right? They're falling on their butt. They're falling on their arms. They're hurting themselves. They're persistent and they keep after it. And they're consistent. Some of these videos take 6 months to a year.
Wow.
For them to finally land one trick, right? And so they are consistent. They keep going back to that same spot, back to that same spot, back to that same spot, and keep after it. So I think of it like a rabid dog who just won't let go, right? You just have to have that tenacity. You have to have the kind of tenacity that nothing's going to stop you. You're going to make it happen no matter what, because you see the benefit and you see the vision so clearly. You believe so well, so strongly in that vision that nothing's going to stop you. And I think that's really what we're here to help you with Entrepreneur Dojo. We're here to give you the tactics, yes, but we're also here to help motivate you, get you fired up, and show you the actual habits, the success habits that have worked for us. And I'll tell you what, that infomercial went for 11 years, made me my first millions. The infomercial itself did over $140 million in that period of time. We helped 700,000 people with my eBay course, my eBay training, and it was an incredible journey. And you know what? It's such a good testimony to these three habits that we're talking about today: the persistence, the focus, and the being consistent. You know, like right now, we're doing this channel. Guess what? We're doing it on faith. We are doing it on faith. This is fueled by faith. The faith is we do this consistently enough, we persevere enough, we stay focused enough, the rewards will come. What are the rewards? The audience will grow. We'll be serving and helping tons and tons of people. And we'll be able to, at some point, we'll monetize. We don't care about that right now. We got our own businesses. You know, we're happy with our monetization on our own businesses, right? But right now, the focus is how can we serve people as best we can? And that's really our whole goal right now. That's why we're here every day. We're here to serve you. So if you like this kind of content, be sure that you like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of thing. But I do want to give James a little more input here to see what he says about this stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, I use the word failure a few times, but it's like anything. Like if you get in the gym now, I'm trying to go to the gym. I've lost 30 pounds. I got a lot more to do.
Nice.
But I've been consistently going to the gym, and you know, sometimes the weight is great, sometimes it's not, but I've just been getting my butt there. You know, been getting my butt there for the last month or so, and I've been going for walks every day, and I'm doing a bunch of things. I'm not perfect, okay? Like I've got a long way to go, but in that part of my life, it's so funny because like in terms of business, I look at these things, but in terms of my health, I was like, oh, you know, I'll go eat whatever I want, and I'm going to sit down right? Like, but it's so simple that it's like, yeah, why aren't you using these principles in this part of your life? You know? And so once I'm starting to listen to my own advice, it's like, if I was talking to someone else, I'm like, well, are you going to the gym? No. Are you eating out a lot? Yeah. Well, maybe you should, you know, be a little bit better. And it's a lot of stuff that we know, but it's like, it's one thing to do it. And just, I love what you said with the journaling and showing your failures, right? Because a lot of times when you watch some of these shows and stuff like that, they show the skateboarder hitting their jump or whatever. But then all of a sudden it's like they have fail videos too. And you're like, people watch them fail. Well, the fact that and that's what we're trying to do on this show. We're trying to show, we're doing great with this. This didn't work. We're showing everything. And we just feel that being as authentic as possible, showing the success and showing the failure, showing the struggle is going to resonate with people because we're not perfect. We've had success, but we've also had failures. And that's what I think truly any person that has success, I don't care what it's in, they have those failures. It's just we tend not to look at it, right? Like Wayne Gretzky, you don't, something like you don't score a goal unless you take the shot. Michael Jordan, how many shots did he miss? Babe Ruth had like such a terrible batting average. Well, you know, I've put out products that have bombed. I've put out things where, you know, my sales page didn't work. I've had ideas that I thought were going to be awesome. They weren't. But then I had things that kicked butt. And then it's like, oh, you're so lucky. You just know how to make everything work, right? Because I don't necessarily tell everybody, yeah, well, these 10 things didn't work and this
Right.
really messed up. I'm usually tooting my own horn, yeah, I'm crushing it. But there's a lot of, stuff you have to go through and just realize that's part of the process.
Right.
And it's like me again trying to talk about weight loss. I lose a couple pounds and then I gain another three pounds, and then it's like, gosh, like I didn't do well this week. Where now I'm trying to have that mindset of, what, you're gonna have losses. You're gonna have not losses in pounds, but you're gonna have good and bad days. And now I'm down 30. Got a long way to go, but I'm trying to use these principles we're talking about today that we do with business, with my own personal life, and I hope people are getting this and saying, you know what, yeah, I could be a little bit more focused. I could be a little bit more persistent. Hey, can you get 2% better at that? Could you get 3% better at that? You might not be perfect overnight, but can you get a little bit better? Can you get that momentum start to go? And then it's like all of a sudden you're there. So it can happen. It can happen for you. Absolutely.
Totally. And you know what? I thought of one more habit that I think is a part of this equation. Okay. So we're going to give you a bonus habit. Okay. So we gave you 3. So the 3 are, focus, persistence, consistency. And then the one I want to give you today is a bias toward action. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is that when it comes to either learning something new or trying to refine something in your business or trying to perfect something in your business, what's better than all 3 of those is just taking action, taking forward action. I was joking with some of the people that I coached this morning, and because they said, hey, what would be a good formula for creating a YouTube thumbnail? and I said, well, I pointed out a couple of people that have really good YouTube thumbnails, right? And then I said, and what you don't want to do is don't follow Entrepreneur Dojo's YouTube thumbnails, because right now all we're doing is we're just putting up whatever thumbnail we can because we want to be consistent. Right now the goal is to be consistent and persistent, right, and focused. And we're not yet there where we can just we just haven't bothered to take the time to get the YouTube thumbnails done. Why is that important? See, I believe in the strategy called ready, fire, aim. Now, most people say, wait, ready, aim, and then fire, right? No. Ready, fire, and then aim. What that means is you have a bias toward action. You're focused more on the action because your forward action creates momentum, and your forward momentum creates success. You can pick up pieces along the way. You can refine this, refine that, fix that along the way. But what's really important to most successful entrepreneurs is forward action. So if you have consistent, persistent action and you're focused on that end goal, on that vision, you've got all the makings for success. Those really are. Now, you might think, oh, they're just blowing smoke or they're just trying to hype me up or get me excited. No. These are the actual things that work. These are the actual things. Like, people will point to a strategy and they'll point to a tactic and they'll say that strategy did it or that tactic did it or this 3-step software did it. No, it's your action. It's your persistent action. It's your consistent action, and it's your focus. Those are the core things that are going to get you to success. Any last thoughts, James?
Well, you usually you cap it and you say it perfectly, and then you're like, "What do you want to say, James?" I'm always like, "Man, I can't top that," But no, it's so true. It's getting in there and all the things we talked about today, and knowing too that we can keep going, but knowing you're not alone. There's other people that are struggling. I think sometimes that helps. Sometimes when you're trying to do it, you feel like I'm the only one in the world that's doing it, and I'm the only one struggling. No, you're not. And I mean that in a good way. You're not special in that there's other people failing. There's other people trying. So if you know that, especially the way the world is right now, you feel literally and figuratively alone or isolated. Know that there's other people trying to do what you're doing. So in a sense, we're going through it together. So absolutely, you can do it. And I'm so excited that, again, we're getting what Dave said earlier, like and subscribe and hit that notification button and leave us your comments. We're loving seeing those comments or people saying this video was awesome. Thanks for doing this and so on and so forth. It's really pumping us up and just making us believe even more in the consistency that we're doing here with this channel. So we see all those comments. So please keep leaving those comments because it means a lot to us. And those likes, it really does mean the world to us. So thank you, and continue to do that, please.
Yeah, we feel very supported when we see a comment on there. And see, it's one thing to see the number of views, right? The number of people that watch the video, but that's very impersonal. When I see a comment like we did the other day, or even yesterday, I see these comments and like, man, okay, we're making a difference in people's lives. Okay, this gives me fuel to keep going. Okay, I can stay persistent and consistent now with those comments. So think of those comments as fuel to our fire. You give us comments, we'll give you more fire, and we'll continue to grow together and build this thing up like nobody's business. We're here at the Entrepreneur Dojo to help you to master the skills of entrepreneurship. And that's really our goal and we can grow together, right? We're not saying we're the end all of entrepreneurship. I mean, we like to think we are, but we're not saying that. But we do know that we can help you, and we can help, give you a hand up. And you also, as a community, are going to help build us up as well. We're going to work on this together. We're going to build it together. So thank you all for joining us. I think it's been a great episode. I love talking about this stuff. Let's talk a little bit more about the mindset stuff, James. I think people will resonate with that. But we're going to mix it up. We're going to have all kinds of good stuff. So stay tuned and be sure to tune in. We're here just about every night at about 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's 6 p.m. Pacific time. Would love for you to see us and join us live on your TV, on your computer, on your phone, wherever you may be. We'd love to see you live. So join us. Tomorrow we'll be back again live at about the same time, and look forward to seeing you then.
Thank
Have
you.
a great evening, everybody. We'll see you.
See ya.